Hi everyone, good afternoon. Thank you for being here. My name is Byant Kaur and I sit on the board as a non-executive director and chair of the Governance and Risk Committee. I want to speak plainly today about the cyber attack on Jane's Healthcare and what it tells about how board must govern in the digital age. So, in February 2024, a criminal group reached Change Healthcare, a subsidiary of United Health Group that processes about 15 billion healthcare transactions a year. They walked in through a system that was missing on basic security control. So within days, payments and claims across much of the United States health system had frozen. The data of roughly 193 million people was exposed. So the largest healthcare breach in this country's history. So this was not a sophisticated act of genius. It was a failure of oversight. Um, let me be specific about that what wrong because accountability starts with precision. The entry point, the attackers used a stolen password to reach a remote access portal that had no multi-factor authenticator. And the second layer of login security most of us already use for online banking. With that, one safeguard switched on a stolen password alone would not have been enough. It wasn't there, and no one at board level has confirmed whether it was. For the blind spot, the intruders then moved through the network undetected for 9 days before launching their ransomware. That tells you the monitoring was as weak as the front door, and the root of it tracked back to the acquisition. When United Health brought Change Healthcare in 2022, insecurity was never brought up to standard. The exposure, this wasn't one company's problem because Change sits at the center of national claims processing. The failure cascaded outward. The American Medical Association found that 80% of medical practices lost revenue from unpaid claims. Small clinic dipped into personal saving to keep their doors open. Patients could fill prescriptions. The cost of the company passed $3 billion. So, until like, what are the lessons for any board, including us? On risk reassessment, cyber risk is no longer an IT issue to be delegated downward. It belongs in the boardroom, governed within the same seriousness as financial risk. On ethical accountability, when an organization holds the sensitive data of millions, protecting it is not a technical nicely. It is a duty of care to people who never choose to take on that risk. On stakeholder management, the patients and small practitioners who suffered most had no say in the security decision that failed them, and good governance had to speak for them. And if I name one reform this committee would drive, it is this: enforce multi-factor authentication and zero trust access across every system, with no exception for legacy or newly acquired platforms, and require independent assurance reported to the board that it is genuinely switched on, not assumed verified. At the end of at the end of this presentation, I would like to explain conclusion and final message. So let me close with this. The Change Healthcare attack was a governance failure wearing a technical disguise. The technology that failed was ordinary. That was missing was board level assurance that the basic were in place. Ethical leadership in the digital age is not a policy we publish. It is a discipline we practice. It means a board that asks to see the evidence, that treats the security of an acquired system as it is own responsibility, and that protects the people downstream who depend on us. Looking forward, resilient stewardship means refusing to assume. It means confirming that the fundamentals hold before a breach, not after one. Because in cybersecurity, as in governance, trust is not in control, verification is. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here, listening, and that's all for my assessment.